So, guys, welcome back and let's continue. So, what's the plan, right? Very important topic in one context, what I mean by this, right? So, let me very quickly draw the diagram, what exactly we are going to perform right now. So, now we know some of the concepts, or I can say the vocabulary about Git, right? So, one of the main thing is uh, now we know two different angle to you know use the Git, right, or VCS system with the help of Git kind of tool. Okay, one is we know how to manage the Git thing locally. Okay, this is called local repository or the local Git we know. Okay, plus if you don't want to use your local system, you can use the cloud hosted solutions. Okay, that is called GitHub. One of the example I can say GitHub. We have more example in the market, but one of the example is GitHub, where you don't have to install Git in your local laptop, directly create the account and almost everything you can go and achieve there. Okay, but typically, normally how we proceed, right, and how we do. So there's two way. You want to do something locally and you want to do something on the cloud, I mean to say internet. So there's two different way you can manage your source code or the version controls. Okay, but typical way is what normally we do as a developer. Normally we have our own laptop that work as a workstation, right? And normal practice is developer install some kind of text editor or IDE, integrated development environment, maybe Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ or Eclipse, and then more editor they have, whatever the preference choice they have for their IDE. Or those who don't know IDE, you can think it's like a text editor where they open the file and start writing the code. The typical standard way is they prefer to obviously to write the code directly in their laptop only, means they on the local system, and plus they also want to manage the repository also locally. Right, means all the staging area or the commit area that contain all the version 1, version 2, version 3 locally. So anytime they can go back, revert, and see the difference and changes in the code. So preference choice would be developer perspective. They want to write and manage everything in the local computer, because there's no good practice to have an internet connectivity all the time. So technically, you can think it is like offline access, right? And we normally recommend mostly the offline access. Okay, so technically, the Git command and the Git tool is very much useful for these guys. But the way I explain you today, all right, because we work in a team, so whatever things I do in my laptop, let's say I'm the developer, Vimal, and whatever I do in my laptop, I want to sync with other guys also. So we have some kind of centralized version control system where we keep our own code centrally in our repository, and that center is called GitHub. Okay, one of the example I can say is GitHub. So we also do one thing, we keep on sharing our code or uploading our code time to time to this GitHub account. So we keep on uploading the code, and one of the reason is keep on uploading the code. You can think it is something like a backup also. One of the purpose. So something happened in my laptop, my hard disk crashed, at least we have backup copy somewhere on the cloud. One of the thing is, other reason is I want to work in other laptop. It's like a Gmail account. You can access your Gmail anywhere. So something like this, because it's centralized, you can access your data anywhere. But main thing is to collaborate with multiple teams. Okay, or maybe you want to share your code publicly also, so other guys can see your code, comment and add and help you to enhancing the feature. So there will be multiple regions why I want my code to be in the centralized uh, repository like Git. So point here is, at one point in time, is very common practice. At one point in time, initially we start our project mostly in the local computer. At some, after a certain point, I want this project to be uploaded to some public cloud or any other cloud or internet solutions. That is a very common pattern we use, or vice versa also. Sometimes we start from cloud and we get the code in locally and start working on local, so it would be vice versa. But main point here is that I want to tell you here is both the things I want to work in parallel. Okay, in the parallel, that's what I would like to show you, how you connect the cloud thing to the local system and how you can sync. And in this world, what are things you create locally? If you want to upload in the cloud, then uploading, guys, is normally known as push. So there's a concept called push, right? We can keep on pushing. Okay, and sometimes this might be also possible. You have some data on the cloud created by somebody else, or you are created actually on the cloud and you want to download in your local system. Then this is also that concept is known as pull. So you have to pull something, right? There's one more concept called clone. It is something like pull only, right? So, but let me focus on the term called pull. So from local system, if you want to upload, that's called push. From the cloud, for the internet, you want to download, that is called pull. Okay, but for this push and pull, you have to first you have to integrate or connect, I can say, local system to the cloud system. What I mean by this is the first thing I am going to do right now. So, but I think guys, you got the idea what we are going to do: connect local system to the cloud for this purpose, right? So point here is, right, we have some account in GitHub. Okay, in GitHub. And what I want from my laptop, I have certain code or I send certain files, right? I would like to upload to this system. Okay, now point here is this system where you're going to upload, it is managed by some other company or the community, I can say, right? So, and simple thing is, if you want to upload any data from your local system to other computer, you can upload like anything, right? Because there's a different computer, right, managed by different team. So you can't upload anything like anybody can come and upload the things. Obviously, for the security, what we need from your computer, if you want to upload something on other computers managed by other things, you have to first do the authentication here. Means you have to give them a login with your password, or I can say in this way, this guy, okay, will give you a login name and password and say, if you use this login and password, right, then only you can authenticate, means you can connect to my system, and after connect, whatever things you want to upload in the system you can upload, and maybe download also. Mainly we are most concerned here about upload the things. That's called push the thing. Okay, so point here is if you want to upload any data or the repository, I normally say repository, in the GitHub, okay, you have to first authenticate. It is something like this. If you want to send some mail from Gmail, you have to first log in by login and password. After login and password is correct, then you are authenticated. After authenticated, you can use Gmail services. Something like this we have to do here. And for this, GitHub will give a login and password to do. Okay, but one more small thing I just want to tell you here is, and there's a multiple different way you can authenticate in the GitHub. Okay, the most common way that you use in the GitHub to authenticate is with the help of SSH. Okay, so very quickly, those who don't know SSH, just a very quick revision in quick experience in one minute only, right? So those who are from Linux background, they might know SSH very well. But let's say there's a two computer having one is IP1 and one is IP2. And from IP1 to IP2, if you want to connect to this system, that's called login. That is also known as remote login. So we use network, and network we use certain protocol. One of the famous protocol we use is called SSH. Is one protocol name. So by this protocol, this guy from one laptop can connect to this system, or same protocol we can use. So in this computer, we have certain file and you want to transfer this file to this system also. We can also use this protocol, and anybody who knows the command will SSP command they use, but internally this protocol we use. So SSH is protocol through which you can connect to other computer, run some commands there, transfer some file there, and lots more things you can do with SSH. So very quick information, those who by chance doesn't know what is SSH protocol. Okay, the only thing is the system that where you're transferring something, they should support SSH, or they should have SSH services enabled. Okay, so same thing here is, guys, if you talk about GitHub, okay, interesting thing is GitHub system and server has come up with SSH service enabled. It means from other computer, other laptop yours, right? Let's say this is the IP2, this is IP1. So from IP1, if I try to connect to the GitHub over the internet network, right, we can use SSH protocol. And why I want to connect, one of the main purpose is to connect is, one of the main purpose is in my system, I have multiple repository and the file. Okay, I want to transfer this file to the system. Even though for transferring the file, we can use FTP protocol also, but Git doesn't support FTP. So the only way, one of the way I can say, not only way, one of the way to transfer is SSH. Other way also, the support is called HTTP, HTTPS. That's also you can use. But right now I'm going to show you the most commonly used way to transfer the thing in the GitHub is SSH. So that was the plan is. So from your system, if you want to local system, if you want to upload something on the cloud, we are going to use this protocol. But obviously, if you are transferring something or pushing something, nobody can come, directly, upload anything in the GitHub. GitHub say you have to authenticate. Okay. And because you are using SSH, so you have to authenticate the way SSH support. So guys, SSH is a concept, is a protocol, is one kind of service also. So typically in the SSH kind of system that GitHub support. So anybody from outside world can connect. So in the SSH perspective, if you want to, for example, IP1 in this example, want to connect to IP2, for connecting, they have to log in, and for login, they have to authenticate, and for authenticate, right, they need username or they need password. So this is called password-based authentication. But nowadays, mostly in the SSH world, instead of the username, we use username only, but instead of the password, we use key for login. That is key is called private key. It is called key-based login. Okay, so GitHub normally support key-based login. So the system who want to log in, for example, I want my local system to be login, so I should require some username. Okay, and instead of the password, I require a key that is called private key. Okay, so if you have these two things with you in your system or with you, you can use this username or the password that is called private key. You can use this information to log into the GitHub via this protocol. And why I want to use this protocol, because my plan is to transfer my repository or push the repository to the GitHub. This is one thing. Okay, second thing is GitHub say I'm giving you flexibility. You can create your own private key Okay, you can create your own private key, but any other guys also can create, because private key creation is so simple. I'm going to give a command, right? So GitHub say anybody can also create their own private key, but how can I know who this, you are the real person who belong to this account? Okay, so for this, okay, in the GitHub you should have an account the way we have created here. In GitHub you should have this account. You log in with your main login and password. Okay, so this account we have, you have created this account in the GitHub, but how I know this account belongs to your laptop, or your laptop is the one who want to access your account to upload the repository here? Okay, how we know, how we come to know? Okay, for this you have to create one public key. And again, I'm not going to the cryptography and security discussion, one of my favorite subject, even though, but just for a quick information, right? Because so that we can focus more in the GitHub. So guys, if you have a private key that is private to you, nobody have this key, it is like a password, nobody have this password, only you have. And this, from this private key we can create a key called public, and this public key only derived by private key only. There's no other way to create this unique key that's called public key, and it is only derived by the private key only. So because you have the private key, so you know how to drive and how to create, I can say. And this key purpose is, we will set this key in my GitHub account. Okay, only the public key. Why? So that my Git account know this public key. So in the future, from my laptop, if I try to connect to GitHub and using this private key, so Git say, because I am using this private key and this private key is the one who associate this public key, so they compare this key was some way. Okay, this concept called SSL TLS handshaking concept, right? So again, what is this I'm not discussing right now here, but technically what I'm trying to tell you here is in the simple quick context. Okay, in GitHub account, okay, you have created, this is your account. GitHub know your account by your email ID and password that you use in the GitHub application actually. Okay, but if you want to connect your local laptop, so what you have to do in your local laptop, you have to keep your private key. The same private key other guys can create, but your private key is unique to other guys. To tell this private key belongs to you, to tell this laptop belongs to you, or you are the actual owner of this GitHub account. So in your account only, you have to attach their respective public key, not private key, public key. Okay, public key. So that is a quick, not the detailed explanation, but very quick explanation, because I want to focus more in the Git and GitHub rather than security and the cryptography. So simple point is, this is a one-time setup. In your laptop, create a private key. Okay, in your laptop, create a public key. And out of this two key, keep your private key safe in your laptop. Don't share to anyone. And public key, you have to take this public key and copy inside your GitHub account. This is a one-time setup. If you do so, then your laptop will be connected to the GitHub. Okay, they will be connected to the GitHub, or technically your laptop has a capability to authenticate it with the GitHub account via SSH protocol. So this is a one-time setup. You have to do it, but in the afterwards, in the future, you can keep on using this setup forever. Okay, so your laptop, this particular laptop or workstation would be always connected till the time you have this private key available in your laptop. Okay, so this is what guys we are going to do right now. Okay, very quick, we can do it. So for this, you have to create this public key and private key in your laptop. So how we can do? So for this, I'm going to use again git bash terminal. Yes, bash terminal. Okay, and here we have one command called ssh keygen. So I'm running this thing in my local laptop, right? Keygen, they're going to generate public and private key pair. okay, their private key they are storing in this file. This is a very important file. I'm not going to share this file to anyone. Okay, do you want to lock this file also? I don't want to lock. So without locking also, I will go. And as soon as your private key create, your public key also created over here. And this public key I'm going to upload in my GitHub account. It's a one-time setup we will do. So GitHub know anybody who has public key that is there in their GitHub system. Okay, so in the future, if anybody come from this laptop, they always bring this private key somehow. They check by some algorithm of cryptography, and they use that cryptography to authenticate the things. So something like this is going to happen. So this is one thing we have to do, only one single command. Technically, I have run over here. Second thing is this public key is there in my system. Let me take this entire path. And if I want to show you the public key look something like this. I'm not going to show you private key, because you guys can see my private key. If you can see my private key, you can also put my private key in your laptop to connect my account. And after connecting my account, you can do anything in my account. So I'm not going to show my private key to anyone. Plus, obviously, same thing you also want to show you. So actually, path is C drive actually. So C:// So or maybe let me go to this folder. Let me go to this folder .ssh. So I'm inside this folder, and inside this folder you have two files. Okay, this file I'm going to show you. I say the public. So having the public key, nobody can do anything, right? So the public key we always share to other systems always. So this public key I'm copying from here, from entire file. There's one single key I'm copying. Okay. And now what I'm doing, I'm posting this public key into my account to tell my GitHub that this public key belongs to me. Any system in the world who have associated private key, they are authenticated. So same private key, I can copy multiple computers. So all the computers connected to my account. So it is something like this. So one time I copy this file to all my other computers. So all the computers have been connected to the same account. Okay. And that laptop computer doesn't need any login and password to connect to any of my repository. They can do anything in my account. So for this, in a GitHub, you have to upload your public key. How? If you go in your top icon avatar, okay, there's an option called settings. If you go to the settings, okay, go to settings, and there, if you see in the left side, if you want to access this account, okay, so here they have one of the options. There's other options also, but one of the options they have is SSH kind of setup. Click on SSH, and here they ask you, there's no SSH connected to my account, so do you want to add a key? It's called SSH key, typically known as public key. I say yes, I want to connect. Okay, so I'm going to add a key here, and here you can paste your key. So this particular key I'm copying from here and pasting over here. That's all. That's what you have to do right now. Okay, and give some title, my personal laptop. This is just like a normal information key you can type. This is a public key only. So any laptop, any system. So let me add. They have some with the SSH. That's what I've written here. Maybe extra new line might be the challenge. 1 minute. SSH. So let me add, guys, this last here because they take some information from a laptop as my laptop details, like email ID. Let me remove this. I think there's some syntax the support over here, and there's no extra space. It should add public key format. That's what I'm doing here. I think my format is looks right. With SSH, begin with SSH, or that's what is right. I don't see any challenge here. This is the key, right? Public key, title, so this looks great. Let me try one more time. Let me go for this. Any mistake you guys you are seeing here? I am doing any wrong thing here? So one more time, let me check. Begin. Let me try one more things. Put in double quotes. They might have some set for it. This is the key is right. They might support some particular format. This should work normally. Generating SSH key. Let me check what support they do. Otherwise, I will use the other format. Begin with SSH. Maybe this is what they're asking here to put in the single quote. Let me remove the new line also. This might be the syntax. Add. Come on. So format. This should work, right? I'm doing some mistake. It shouldn't be technically there, right? Begin with SSS. They are not showing any error. If you can wait quickly, if you can check in your system also. So I think it should work. I think a lot of guys saying they're working in their laptop. It is in the same line. I'm just again checking your here. Begin with RSS. That's what I'm doing. I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing some mistake here. Shouldn't be, but let me check one more time. S is RSA. That's what I write. Okay. And let me put in single quote. There's no space actually. Give the title. Okay. And let me give the remove the space also sometime. I don't know, title might give facing the issue. And it's equals to or equal to guys is a part of my key only. So I can't remove this. Any further suggestion anybody has? Because I think mostly guys say here it will work in the laptop. I don't know why I'm not working here. It should work. No only answer is present. So let me guys give everything in single quote. I don't come on right. So let me try all the combinations. Key is invalid. Let me do one thing. Let me create the key. It should work. Private key, you have to override yes. Enter public key. Created ID RSA dot public. There's a new key I've created. Okay. The challenge here is this one small challenge. The challenge here is okay. There in my current computer, right? I have one small challenge. In my Windows, I have created a local account with a space. Because normally create my other issues also in my laptop, right? So in my local system, I have one local account that has space. Space has a different meaning in multiple programs. That was one of the reason might be that issue is coming up, right? So I'll do one thing. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll take this and let me remove the space I don't need. Okay, this might be challenge, right? Otherwise, let me add. Yeah. So it's work, right? So it's not that it technically there's no issue in the Git and SS key because my laptop has some issue, right? Not issue. I create account with space. Space normally create a lot of other issues also in other programs. But the technically it's been rectified and thing is working fine. So finally, what I've done, sometime vested due to this unwanted challenge, but that's got it. Okay. So now what we have a public key connected to GitHub. Okay. And we have a private key. So technically, this is the only thing you need. And actually, guys, can you hold for a second, please? 1 minute, please. Yeah. So actually, technically, you have connected. So your local laptop is connected to GitHub. Means I can say you are authenticated. So from your laptop, anything you want to push to the GitHub, you can push it without any challenge. But I want, because this first time we have done this setup, is better to quickly check the connection. So right now I'm going to show you how we can test this connectivity, means everything is working fine or not. Okay. For this to test the connections, everything is working fine or not. Okay. What we can do, we can go to GitHub, hub.com. Internally, guys, GitHub has created one account for everyone. Okay. That's called SSH account. That's called Git. This is the account they created. So this is the website name or server name, and Git is the one account they created in the server for SSH. Okay, so I'm going to do SSH to the system, and here they created one account just for testing or some other purpose also. So I'm just doing T. I don't want to log in there because they're not giving that access to us. I can use T just to check the connectivity. So if I run this command, and if you see this message that in your account you're successfully authenticated, okay, it means whatever setup you have done is working fine. So there's one quick way to check, but it's only working. Why? Because I have a private key with me and my public key uploaded successfully. If it's not the case, this command will give some error to you. In my case, it's working fine. It means the setup that I've done over here for setting up has been working fine. So that's all, guys. This one setup has been done. Now, why we have doing this setup and why we have done this setup? All initial purpose is the all explained to you is what I have my local repository. Okay, I want to upload this local repository to the GitHub. Why? I want to share my code to everyone. This is the, let's say, one of the purpose. Okay, so let's do this practical very quickly. So I want to upload, technically known as I want to push my data. Okay, so how we can do this? So for doing this practical, what I'm going to do in my account, I'll go again to my Git. Here, let me create one more new local repository, my local repo. One. So I'm going to create one local repository. Okay, and let me also create one quick file inside, let's say linux.txt. First data, close this file created. Let me add in my staging area again locally. I commit this file, create my commit message, first commit in local computer or workstation. Okay, one new commit created. Let me do one more time very quickly. Cat, I'm using the double symbol to append the file. File name is linux.txt, second line. Okay, again git add, or actually we can commit also with second commit in local computer. So this is the what, guys, the complete details we have in my local computer, right? But plan is this particular repository I would like to upload in the GitHub. Okay. So interesting thing is, it means my working area, my staging area, my commit area, everything there in my local system. It means we don't have to create any of this area in the Git. But in the terms of management, because in the GitHub also we might have multiple repositories. For example, if you see here in the GitHub, I have in my home page, you can see there's a lot of repositories I have, right? So to differentiate that this is the data coming from my laptop, I want to manage and arrange this data in a different location in my GitHub. So in the GitHub, we can create some kind of dummy repository kind of thing. Dummy repository I normally means that there is nothing working area or staging area or the commit area. It's just a different folder, so that in this folder we can upload my local. So technically, I want to say here, if you want to upload anything from the local to GitHub, you have to again create local, again create a repository in the Git. You can give any name. Let's say this is the Git training local 2022. So this is what, guys, I'm creating a repository. Important thing over here is to note here, you don't have to initialize. Don't initialize here. If you do this, thing won't work the way we want. Because here our plan is not to create the entire staging area and other areas here. I want this would be a dummy kind of, means empty, nothing would be there. That's what I want to create over here. Okay, so don't click in this any of the button, otherwise they initialize this repository that I don't want. So click on create repository. Now they say your new folder has been created in GitHub. It's like a dummy, nothing is there. So if you want to fill this repository in the GitHub, you have to upload the data. And now from where you want to upload, that would be your choice. But is this empty? That's this screen is look like. Okay, what the message they are talking about? We'll talk about this message in a minute. Now here the point here is, the main point here is, in my GitHub repository, this is empty, nothing is there. In my local system, we have entire repository created. Now, intention over here is I want to upload this repository to my GitHub account. Okay, so before this, I want to tell you one more small vocabulary. Normally, guys, in the project, when we are creating the project, okay, in the project we have multiple files or multiple codes. Okay, we are creating this project over here. Okay, and in that project or entire software, I can say what you're creating here, right? And if you're trying to create one more copy of this project, okay, so that other team, other guys can work on it, or you can share this project to other team. Okay, so typically we use a term, that term has a more meaning, but typically we use a term called upstream. That will be my upstream project. So whatever project you are working on your local system, you are upstreaming this project on the some other system. So that is not the only meaning of upstream. Upstream project has more meaning, upstream, downstream. I'm just giving some terminology here. Okay, that only makes some sense in some minute. Okay, in some minute, what actually the meaning of upstream here. I'm just giving this quick vocabulary, those who by chance doesn't know what is upstream kind of word. Now let's come to this screen again. So in my local system, we have some repository, some project is going on, and I want to upload this project in my GitHub so my other team can use this, right? So technically what I want to do here, my local repository, I want to connect or upload to my GitHub. Okay, so the Git perspective, this system where you're going to upload your things is known as remote. So I want to upload or push my repository to the remote computer. Okay, but here, how can I push? Okay, so first of all, in your local computer, you should be inside your repository where you have entire data. Right now, if you see the Git status, okay, this is the repository where everything is committed, everything in the place. Okay, I want this repository to be uploaded, and for this we have to use a command called git push. This is the command we use. There's only one command we have to use, but this time when I use this command, it will fail, and they might give some warning and some error, and they are very clear. They say you're trying to upload this repository local to the destination or the remote computer you want to push, but I don't know where to push. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you want to post to the GitHub, but in the GitHub there's a lot of accounts, and every account has a lot of different repositories. Where you want to post, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So you should be very clear. Okay, you should be very clear in the GitHub. Okay, if I go back here in this screen, if I can refresh this screen, okay, in the GitHub you should be very clear. Even though, let me refresh. If some information they give you, no, they're not giving you. So in the GitHub you should be very clear that from your local computer, if you're uploading something in GitHub, which repository you are uploading your data. Okay, so right now this information is not there in my local computer. There's one command called git remote command. I have no information about my remote computer, my destination computer. Even though if you want to see more details, there's one option called V means verbose. They will show you more details. Do you have any information about remote? Okay, so right now in this repository, I don't know who is my remote. Okay, where I would like to upload. So what you have to do, again, this is a one-time setup in your local system per repository basis. Maybe this repository you want to upload somewhere else, other repository you want to upload somewhere else. So per repository basis in your local computer, what you have to do, you have to add a remote system information. And according to us, a remote system is this one. This is what I want to upload. Where I want to upload in my GitHub account. In my GitHub, my account name is Vimal Linux World 13. This is my GitHub account name I set up in my internal settings. And in this account, I have multiple repository, but I want to upload in this particular repository. So this is the location I want to upload my future data from my local to the remote system. But how you want to upload? I told you for uploading, guys, for pushing, there's two protocols that support. Either they support SSH or they support HTTP or HTTPS. Right now, we are going to use SSH because the setting we have done. Because for uploading, we need authentication. Authentication part we have done already. So for this, in this screen, you can take the URL by clicking on SSH. And now here they give you the SSH URL. Okay. And in this URL, guys, the same account, the GitHub server with the Git account. This is what, guys, we have tested also, right? So this account they have given you internally. This is what we have already tested, right? So when I use this command for testing, I use the same URL for SSH for testing. So in GitHub Intel give this account and say if you want to upload also, you can use the same account and same name of the system to upload. Just give your account name and your repository ID. So this is the URL they use. So let me do git remote add and paste. That's all. So this is a one-time setup you have to do, but this is the one URL you added. You can add more URLs like this. So one repository you're uploading somewhere else, other repository from local system, you can upload some other locations, some other URL, some other account like GitHub. You can have other kind of tools also and other repository also. So that is the reason every information you're adding here, you can give some name. Let's say this is my GitHub hub. Let's give some name. This is the name for the reference. This name we're going to use somewhere also. Okay, so this is one-time setup we have done. So in my local repository, this one, I added this remote information. So if you run the remote command, you can see this information command. Which means you added one new name called my GitHub. And you want to see the detail of this my GitHub, you can use have a V option to see this detail. So in my GitHub, if you want to push something, this is the URL where they are going to push, right? So again, one-time setup we have done here. Okay. Plus some more thing you can do here. For example, if you want to see some more detail about this remote, so there's one more command called show command. Okay, and give your name over here. What a name you have given, you can give here. They might show you some more detail. Okay. As right now do not have so much there, but in the future this command is useful. It give you a lot of details about your remote computers. Right now they're only showing you one details. If you want to push, okay, it will push here. So it means if I run the git push command now they will push the entire repository at this particular URL. Okay, so last time guys, when I do the push, they fail, but now if I run the push command, it might push, or you might again find some error. Let's see. So again, the push command is not working. Again, they're telling you something is not yet configured yet. And what they're talking about? So they're talking about that because we know one concept or already is the concept of branch, and we know everything is stored finally in the branch. So technically in GitHub, right now we have just a dummy repository. What are the repository name we had given in the GitHub? It's called training global local, some name we have given here as XYZ. Okay, but in my local computer we have a repository, and you guys know when you create a repository, when you commit, everything is stored in some branch. By default they store in master branch. You can see we have the master branch here. So this entire data is there in the master branch. Okay, so what I want that this entire data of the master branch is keep on syncing and uploading to this computer. Which computer? To my remote computer. They keep on syncing here. So for us, I want whenever we do push, okay, push, then master branch data will push to the remote computer. Okay, so it's something like this one-time setup we again have to do. So in this repository, whenever I push, okay, my master branch data will upload to my remote system, and the name of remote system what I've given is this one, is uploaded to this remote system, this name, whatever name we have given. Okay, so I can use one term here is for this remote system. Okay, this system has no code with themselves. Code is coming from a local computer. So my developer is creating the code in my local computer, and this code we are uploading here. So anybody who is getting the code from somewhere else, okay, in that context, this system who is getting the code from somewhere else are known as upstream systems, so upstream computer. And for this perspective, for this guy perspective, this system would be as a downstream. Okay, but technically in this entire context, right, the system who is getting the code from other computer, that system or that unit or that team or that project, multiple way you can use this term, are known as upstream project or upstream account, upstream VCA system. Okay, so that's what you have to see here. Say here, I say I have a data in my local master, I can say branch, and this data will be uploaded to this remote system. So this remote system would be my upstream. So this is the one setup we have to do. Again, it is a one-time setup we have to perform. Now this time you can see push command run perfectly. There is no error come up, and what they're doing from my local master branch, Okay, we get the data and upload to this particular remote system. Why this one only? Because it is written inside this. And interesting thing is in my remote computer, we don't have the master branch. So they automatically create one new branch. You can see here one new branch they created where in my GitHub account. So in my GitHub account, that was empty. There was no master branch, but if I refresh this page, you will see some difference now. Automatically a master branch created, and entire 2 commits this file come in my GitHub account from my local system. Okay, to my local system. Okay, this is one thing. And second thing is because we set this line here, this is again one-time setup. This lines means now my GitHub start tracking my local branch. What I mean by this, I'll explain in a minute. So this tracker also been updated. So if anything I change my local system, my GitHub can track, or vice versa also. When I do some changes in my remote system like GitHub, also directly my local system will start tracking. What I mean by track here, I'll explain you in some minute. But technically, this is a one-time setup. You have to add your remote URL of Git where you want to upload, and you have to set up stream once only. Why I mean by once, I will again show you in a minute why I'm talking about once, right? But technically, there's one more term we can use. So system where we are uploading the data typically is GitHub, not always typical GitHub. This is known as remote system, but mostly in the market, this system is also known as by one more name, and that is called origin. So origin, very commonly used name we use mostly in the market. So this is known as origin. So either you can use the word origin or you can use the word called remote. It is the same thing. Okay, and that is a reason in the market. This is a very common, I can say, very common practice that everybody use this name origin only. So I intentionally give this name very different name because everybody feel the origin name is some keyword of the Git. So those who know Git, they might also feel that one, right? Because origin name is very commonly used in the market. So with feel, origin is a common name, is a keyword of the Git. It is not the keyword, it's just a name. You can give any name. That is the reason why I pick some other name. But mostly it is very common standard in the market. We always use in the remote system the name called origin, but you can use any other name also. That was I'm trying to tell you here. Okay, this is one thing. So this is one thing. Even though if I show you one more time very quickly, if I created one more repository, okay, just for test ttt some repository I'm just creating, same way. These are the command guys, they also show you. They say, okay, go to your local computer, create a local repository, okay, then add a URL with the keyword called origin, is not keyword, and then set the upstream. So upstream, you have a U option also, have a U, or the option that I show you is same thing. This option has a shortcut, small keyword called U, and has same meaning. Okay, so here they give you all the commands to you. It's the same command guys I used over here. So this is the guys, how can you commit, how can you connect your local system and push your data to the remote system, right? So now if you run the git remote, we have one thing. If you want to remove it, I don't want to push in the future, you can say git remote, I want to remove. But before remove, I want to show you something. If I run the show command again, so now this command guys, last time this line was empty, but now you can see some difference here. They say now whatever you are going to upload, we are going to upload in the master branch, and we start tracking the master branch because we uploaded master branch only. How to upload other branch also, I will show you in a minute. Okay, so this message is going to come up here. This is one thing. Second thing is, if you want to remove also, remove this line. But before I remove, I want to show you one small thing, right? So this tracker has been updated, one-time setup. How this line updated, okay, is because of this line. It means now on future, right? For example, if I run the git status command, everything is clean. Now you can see one more interesting thing here. My branch is up to date with my GitHub also. Okay, it means whatever data we have in my local, same data we have in my GitHub account. So everything has been synced. Okay, everything has been synced. That was they're talking about. So whatever data we have locally, same data we have in my GitHub account. But if I add some more data, okay, let's say third line. Okay, because I added this data, let me add in my local system. Let me commit third local commit. Okay. Now, what you see in my local system, I committed this thing. Okay. And but if you see the git status command, you see one difference. You see here, your local commit is clean, nothing to commit. Okay, but your local branch is ahead of your GitHub branch by one commit. Okay, and that's what, guys, this command also showing you. This command showing you this latest version your local master branch is pointing to. But same branch you have, but that branch in very other computer or other computer I can say in the GitHub that are still pointing to this version. So if I again go back and refresh this page in my GitHub, this is having only 2 commits. Okay, and they are having the last commit called 83BA. That's what they're 83BA they're connected to. But in my local computer, we have one version ahead. So you can think as this similar concept what you see in branches. So you think this is the one branch in my local, we have other branch in the remote. By chance the name is same, but 2 different computers. So you can think it's like 2 different branches, just to understand the concept. Okay. But my more origin system or my remote computer, my latest data is not updated. Okay. So think you can think in this way. Your developer is still working in your projects, right? In the local system, they don't want to upload this data to the remote computer, right? Because maybe my remote computer is connected to my other teams, or maybe some other my Jenkins kind of tool connected to this guy. As so I upload here my Jenkins trigger and they're put in the production environment. Okay, so this is kind of practical we're going to see a lot in the Jenkins classes, but that is the idea. So technically my guys is still working in my local computer. Okay, and when they feel now whatever things they're doing locally, okay, they're working fine, so they can push this data by this command publish to the GitHub. So this time now onward, guys, you have to use git push command always. So one tracker we already attached. Tracker means if I run the show command, they say now onward in this particular repository, whenever you're using git push command, okay, we always push to the master branch of what? Of this guy. So in the GitHub, what are the master branch you have, we will push over there. Okay, and we keep on tracking this. So we can keep on tracking. That is the reason this message is gonna come up. You have to commit ahead in my local. So you have to sync with these guys remotely or the origin computer. Now onwards, you can keep on doing push over there. Now to push, we have done. Okay, and that is updated in the master branch. And now if you run status command, now everything is clean, up to date. Okay, and if you run the good git logs also, or with logs with one line, everything has been both the master local and master branch in the GitHub. You can think it's like a different kind of branch, but it's a master of the GitHub or origin. Both are pointing to same one. That is in the clean, and that's ID is 10E4. So if I refresh this page, the GitHub, same 10E4 4 comments come up, and they can see the latest data with all the commands that I write. You will see here. So this one, guys, the set uh, origin and remote work. Okay, and if you want to remove off remote also, okay, so you can remove my get. So now onward, you don't want to upload data, you can remove from your system. So now I don't have any remote information available. In this case, you would have to upload anything, obviously it will fail because I don't have any information with me. So you can also remove, and it is again plug and play kind of things. In the future, you want to add one more time, you can again add. Oh, this time you can add a different URL. Okay, so for example, let me quickly add. So I want to add same thing. Okay, maybe this time I want to give a different, I can give a different account name, different different, I can say the repository name, or maybe different the name. So typically in the market we mostly use the origin. So now onward I'm going to use origin only as a name. And if I do git push, again they fail, they are very clear. You can use this command to upstream. So let me use this command. Okay, and then you can use git push command now onward to upload. Okay, so that's how that's what and how it work behind the scene, right? Otherwise, lots more thing you can do. It is up to you which branch you want to sync to the remote computer. There's also you can do very quickly. If I take one example, let me create one local branch, right? Master. Let me create one more new branch here. Okay, there's one more way to create a branch. We can use checkout command, have an U, that's a dev branch. So checkout U means if this branch is not created, they will create automatically for you. I think this is the option, this support. Not U, is B, sorry. B. So automatic new branch created and we shifted to this branch. So it's one quick command to create both the things. You can see get branch, this branch created, and now we are into this branch already. Now in this branch, let me create one more file called a.txt with some data. Let me commit, add this file. Let me commit from dev1 branch in local computer. Okay, and now if you run the git logs command or maybe status command, what you will see in dev branch, everything is clean. And run the git logs command, what you will see, my dev branch locally is one version ahead. Whatever data you have in your master branch and the origin, they are one version back. Okay, so what can you do? What can you do? It now is up to you. Do you want to merge this branch? Okay, merge this branch in the master, and then from the master you want to push. Okay, that you guys know how to merge. All data will go to master branch, then remove the dev branch, I don't need anymore. Okay, and then we push this data to the GitHub. Or if you want, no, I also want this branch to be created in GitHub. Okay, so this, if you see here in the GitHub, we have only master branch. Okay, so I want this branch also upload into GitHub. So right now, if you're on the git remote show origin, okay, so what you see here, right now we are only tracking the master branch. But what I want to do git push. Okay, this time I want in my origin, my GitHub or remote system, I want to track this branch also, that's called dev1. And this first time we are tracking, so you use set upstream, or maybe you can use have a new as a sort of option here. So what happened? Okay, so in the GitHub, if this branch is not there, they will create a new branch for you. That's what they created in the GitHub. And now start tracking this branch also. Okay, and you can see as quickly in the backend, this message also come up in the GitHub, and they say recently one new branch has been pushed. That's come from my local system. If I refresh this page, what you will see, there's 2 branches come up, and this also come up. But if you notice there, when I push, I have this data. One minute. System hang up. I have one file created. It's not come up in the master branch because I pushed that data in the dev branch over here. The a.txt file is there in the dev branch. And plus, you can also see now onwards, all right, in this particular remote location, right, we are also trying to track this branch also. So technically, both the tracker we add, anything we change in the master branch or dev branch in my local computer, my GitHub will track this. Means when another show status command, it will be visible there, right? So it's a file practical like this. Lots of more things we can do here. If I run the git status command, sorry, well, I hit enter multiple times. So if I run the show command again in the origin, now what you will see, okay, in my push, whenever I do push in the GitHub, what they do, they will track dev1 and master both branch. Anything change in any of the branch, we can see with the git status that something is backward or forward. Okay, so right now everything is clean, I believe, because we already pushed the data over here. Okay, that is the idea. So otherwise, there's lots more things we can do. There's a concept called pull, fetch, and much more thing. If you want to prune your local branch, remote branch, then there's a concept called conflict, right? Very common scenario between GitHub and local to local, right? And multiple merge strategy between GitHub to local and rebase. So tons more thing, right? If you understand this concept, this basic concept, then working on those advanced scenario won't be a big deal for you. So I don't want to take those topics, right? We already, the time is to at 1 o'clock to complete this training, but yeah, we already just have some extra discussion we have done. Okay, but that's all, guys. Today, multiple things I explain you. I try everything from very basics, and slowly we move to different angles. But all this concept makes a lot of sense when we add some more advanced topic on the top of this. That what we're going to do in the next class. Even though guys, if you see, just in 2 days we have covered a lot of things, right? So now next 2 days you can think what level we are going to cover in the next remaining 2 days, right? So just 50% portion we have completed, right? Not in the terms of data and the content. 50% time actually we have completed, I can say, to cover multiple base. So that's all from my side.